you go do your thing. You're much faster than I am. Forget about me. Just go do your thing. And that's my whole thing with him is just, you worry about winning. You chase championships. You let me do my thing and learn. I'll stay out of your way. You stay out of my way. And every other driver in the Truck Series and the Nationwide Series, I show them such a great amount of respect. They show me such a great amount of respect. I don't think you can find a Camping World Truck Series driver who's very well respected in the garage who will say that I'm in the way or doing anything wrong out there. So I don't understand why there's this deal with him. And it just was kind of like one of those things like, you are going to push the redheads button at the wrong time.
Well, let's see here. We've got another question. And don't forget, if you want to ask Jennifer Jo Cobb a question, just hit the box right there on our live chat today. We'll get it here on the computer screen in Charlotte, and we'll get it off to her. Goose would like to know, now, how do you communicate with your fans? And if so, how do you do it? I mean, you and I are Facebook friends. Do you talk to your race fans that way?
Facebook, I really am not communicating as well on Facebook these days. My actual Jennifer Jo Cobb Facebook page, they limit it to 5,000 friends, which I think is ridiculous. So people try to be my friend on Facebook, and they get blocked. Facebook says she has too many friends, you cannot send a request. So then what happens is people send me a Facebook mail and say, hey, Facebook won't let me be your friend. You asked me to be a friend. And I'm like, well, if they won't let you, then they're not going to let me. Yeah. So I really need people to understand that. So right now we're trying to transition everybody over to our Jennifer Jo Cobb Racing fan page, because you can like that just as much. And if anything happens in racing, I have a wonderful guy named Paul Heath who exclusively and solely takes care of that fan page and helps me on Twitter. So Twitter is actually a better way to communicate. I think that you'll find, a lot of folks on Twitter, I'll answer questions there and I'll respond there. And my personal Facebook page, it really is just, more personal, and I don't really get a chance to get on there and answer. I've got thousands of, friend requests in queue, and then all kinds of Facebook mail. But I will say this, my email, and I don't know how long this is going to be able to go on, but my email is on my website, and people can email me directly. And it might take a year, but you can ask people. I will respond directly to questions and things on email if they're relevant. Sometimes, like after Friday night, I get a lot of emails like, just wanted to let you know you did a great job, and haven't had a chance to shoot, all of those responses back like, hey, thanks, because it does mean a lot. I mean, I am at a really developing and growth stage of my career, as I have been, the entire time, that I've been trying to chase NASCAR's big leagues. And so that support means a lot, because as you can imagine, the more you're in the public eye and the more you do things, the more criticism you're also going to get. So I really do read. I read everything that comes across Facebook. I just don't have a chance to respond to it. I respond a lot via direct mail, and especially as we try to grow our Twitter network, try to respond a lot on Twitter.
Well, that's great. Let's see if we can get a couple more questions in here before we run out of time. Russ Goldthwait wants to know, how different is the handling between the trucks and the stock cars?
These Nationwide cars are new, so I'm still learning that. I haven't been on in the new Ford Mustang since, Daytona last year and Daytona this year, of course, but not actually raced, in it. So used to be that the trucks were just, a lot more movement. They were a lot boxier and a lot more drag, and you just felt a lot more movement. And then the cars, they, diced through the air much smoother. So the new Nationwide car is going to be, a little bit boxier and a little bit different in that regard. But going from Nationwide practice at Daytona to truck practice, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so different. And the truck, you can just hear and feel so many more things in the truck, just different movements in the air and the draft, and you can play around with it a whole lot more, I think. I think you can use more driving skill in the truck than on the Nationwide side, really, because you can come off a corner right behind someone, like at Texas or Kansas, Chicago, Kentucky, the mile-and-a-half tracks, and your truck will develop a push. If you hang your left front of the truck just a little bit out into the air, you'll come off just beautifully and almost like get a run off of them. So I noticed that a lot in drafting at Daytona, too. I knew where my truck would surge and get a really good run, and it was off 4. And so I played around in practice, like, all right, if I needed a slingshot, would it work? And so I could pull right up next to a truck. I could get right in front of a truck. You know, trucks that qualified in the top 5, I could get right up by them, but couldn't actually complete the pass to drop down in front of them. So that's what's so fun about drafting and practice, is you can learn those things. But the trucks definitely produce a lot more feeling for the driver.
Sean would like to know, what steps do you have to go through to go racing in the Truck Series and or nationwide?
Well, I'll just tell you, like, from the very beginning, what I tell people is start by volunteering at your local track. There's so many teams out there, and everyone that works so hard every week to get those cars, you know, to the local grassroots level tracks. They need help. And so start by going there, volunteer, and learn the best that you can, and pretend you're getting paid $1 million to do it. And from there, you'll develop a core understanding of race cars. And you could go, you know, we hired a guy last year because he came to North Carolina. He volunteered to help for free, and within 3 weeks he had a paying job because he did such a good job. And so it's all about being in the right place at the right time, volunteering and gaining your knowledge. As for actually driving, you know, I started at the bottom of the totem pole in what's called a 4-cylinder pony stock class at Lakeside Speedway, and worked my way up through all the divisions and all the levels. That's probably, you know, not done so much anymore. I think that people start a little bit higher up, but you know, you have to get that core experience in racing. And then, of course, a necessary step to your big league NASCAR racing is the ARCA series, which is a really great, friendly series and a great place to go and get your experience. Yeah. And from there, and Joe Balish explained it in the rookie meeting really perfectly. I love the way he explained it. He said, it's like credit. He said, with NASCAR, you come in here and you don't have credit. It's not bad credit, it's just no credit. And then every week we watch you practice, we watch you qualify, we watch you in the garage area. And he said, just don't be surprised if I come up to you and say, hey, you got a couple points on your credit this week. Or, hey, you lost a couple points on your credit this week. So, you know, you just really have to build your racing credit.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job. We got one more for you here. Kathy Dermott would like to know, it must give you a big rush being out there with all the guys and holding your own. She says, thanks from all of us women.
That's got to make you feel good. That is so cool. Thank you so much. And I hear, you know, a lot of women who thank me for sort of doing it the right way, and you know, not exploiting things and doing it, you know, in a dishonorable way. And that's my promise, you know, is to always try to be a good example. And oh my gosh, you know, I try not to cuss on the radio, certain things that you'll never hear me say, but you know, we all get a little hot-headed at times, and we all make mistakes. And I realize that the more eyes that are on you, the more responsibility that you have. So I just hope that I never let my fans down.
You still playing AC/DC before you get in the car?
Yes, I am. And, you know, to me, this is just a no-brainer. You have got to clear your head before you get in the car or truck. How come I'm the only driver out there listening to music? And how are those guys clearing their head, you know? But that's it. Yeah, as you know, Ralph, that is a long time habit. That was 2004 when we talked about that. And, yes, I have my race day playlist. Yep.
Good for you. All right. Hey, Jennifer, congratulations on all the success this past weekend at Daytona, and best luck to you this week down in Phoenix at the Bashas' Supermarkets 200.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, fans, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week right here on NASCAR.com. Don't forget, get in on that live chat, send us your questions, and we'll ask them for you. I'm Ralph Shaheen. We'll see you next Tuesday.